Robb Stark died at the Red Wedding, betrayed by allies and butchered beneath a guest rite. But Robb Stark did not die without planning for the future. Somewhere in the chaos of war, Robb dictated a will, a final command meant to preserve House Stark and the Northern cause if he fell. That will has never been read on page. It has never been revealed to the realm, and yet it still matters. Because the North is rising again. Because the Boltons rule without legitimacy. And because several people in the story know exactly what Robb decided. The question is not whether Robb left an heir. The question is who he trusted enough to name one. Hello everyone, and welcome to Storyteller's Codex. Here we delve deep into the rich lore of The Lord of the Rings, A Song of Ice and Fire, and the vast worlds beyond. On this channel, we blend the soothing power of cutting-edge technology with the timeless knowledge of dedicated storytellers. That's us, the voices behind the Codex. Settle in, relax, and enjoy. By the time Robb considers succession, his family is already shattered. Bran and Rickon are believed dead after Winterfell falls. Arya is missing. Sansa is a hostage in King's Landing. Catelyn understands the danger immediately. She thinks, if he dies childless, the North dies with him. That fear is not abstract. Robb is fighting a war against the Iron Throne while holding a crown that exists only as long as people believe in it. Without an heir, the Northern cause collapses the moment Robb falls. Robb himself says plainly that he will not allow the North to pass into enemy hands. The war has taught him that bloodlines matter, but so does control. An heir is no longer a formality, it is a necessity. On paper, Sansa is Robb's lawful heir. In reality, she is his greatest risk. Sansa is married to Tyrion Lannister, and Robb understands exactly what that means. Any child of that marriage would carry Lannister blood and Lannister influence. Catelyn recognises this immediately and dreads it. She reflects that the North could be ruled by a child raised by lions. Robb is even blunter. He refuses to let his crown pass to someone controlled by his enemies. This is why Robb's will is not sentimental. It is strategic. He is no longer thinking like a son or a brother. He is thinking like a king at war. The will is dictated during a war council, not in private. Robb gathers his most trusted bannermen and speaks openly about succession. This is not rumour. It happens on the page. Catelyn watches as Robb puts his thoughts into words. She realises too late what he intends. Robb states that if he dies, the North must not fall to the Lannisters. He commands his lords to accept his decision, whatever it may be. Catelyn is horrified, not because she doesn't understand the logic, but because she understands it too well. Robb is not asking, he is ordering. The most important thing about Robb's will is not who he names, but who he removes. Sansa is formally set aside. Robb does this knowingly, fully aware that it breaks traditional inheritance. But tradition has already failed his family. Arya is not considered a viable option. She's missing, presumed dead, and politically unusable. Robb chooses certainty over legality. Catelyn thinks bitterly that he is robbing Sansa of her birthright, but Robb sees it differently. To him, Sansa is already lost, not to death, but to enemy hands, and so the path narrows. By the end of this chapter, there is only one viable candidate left. Once Sansa is set aside, Robb's thoughts turn north and inward. Jon Snow is not just Robb's half-brother, he is the brother Robb trusts most. They were raised together, trained together, and shared the same values of duty and loyalty. Robb knows Jon is a man the North would follow. Catelyn sees the danger immediately. She reminds Robb that Jon is a bastard bound by vows to the Night's Watch. To her, legitimizing Jon threatens everything she fought to protect. Her thoughts are sharp and fearful. She thinks of Jon as Ned's sin, a reminder of humiliation she never overcame. Robb disagrees. He argues that Jon has Stark blood, Stark honour, and the respect of the North. Bastardy, in his eyes, is a technicality, one he has the power to erase. For Robb, Jon is not a compromise. He is the solution. Robb does not simply consider Jon. He plans to legitimise him. This is the most radical part of the will. By legitimising Jon, Robb turns a sworn brother of the Night's Watch into a lawful Stark heir, at least in theory. Robb believes royal authority can override vows just as it has in the past. Catelyn is appalled. She thinks, no good will come of this. Her fear is not just personal. A legitimized Jon could inherit Winterfell, command the north, and displace her own children forever. But Robb is unmoved. He has learned that the law bends for kings, and that hesitation costs lives. The will reflects a young king who has stopped asking permission. Robb does not write his will in secret. Several trusted lords are present, including Mage Mormont and Galbart Glover. These are not minor figures. They are loyal, capable, and deeply northern. The will is signed, sealed, and witnessed. Then it disappears from the story. After the Red Wedding, those witnesses scatter. Some flee north. Others vanish from the narrative entirely. But the will does not vanish with them. Its power now lies in timing. Revealing it too early would have meant death. Revealing it now could change everything. The North after the Red Wedding is not ready for truth. The Boltons rule through terror, the Freys through fear. Any open challenge is crushed before it can form. A will naming Jon Snow, a man of the Night's Watch, would create chaos without protection. George R. Martin delays the reveal for a reason. He allows the political landscape to ripen. Loyalists gather quietly. Resistance simmers beneath the surface. The will is not forgotten. It is waiting. Robb Stark died young, but he did not die careless. His will represents his final growth as a king, a choice made without sentiment based on survival. If revealed, the will could pull Jon Snow south, tear him from the wall, and force him to choose between duty and legacy. It could legitimize Stark resistance. It could fracture the North. It could crown a king who never wanted a crown. Robb's greatest act was not winning battles. It was thinking beyond his own death, and in A Song of Ice and Fire that may matter more than any victory. If you are interested in The Lord of the Rings or A Song of Ice and Fire, click one of the links on the screen to dive deeper into the lore. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.